Welcome to the most listened to golf in the world, the Fairways of Life show, on air, online, and around the world, with the most candid interviews, unforgettable stories, taking you beyond the ropes. Here's your host, New York Times best-selling author, Matt Adams.
What's going on? Welcome to the Fairways of Life show. I'm delighted to have your company today. We're coming to you from our home away from home here as I'm up hosting at NBC Sports for Golf Channel this week. Last week doing the pre and post game, and I'll be doing pre and post game coming up in this week as well. Finally, the weather here has really broken. I think today, I believe it's going to be 85 degrees, 86 degrees in Central Park today. So it's a real warm front coming through, and very much looking forward to experiencing some of that weather somehow, because whenever I come up here, it seems like the weather is really raw, has been really cold up until this point. There's been pockets of nice weather, but this is the week when it's the warmest that it will have been for the start of this season. So I know everyone's very pumped about that, because look, everything that's going on, we've talked about this before with baseball in full swing up here. I'm a Rangers fan. The Rangers eliminated the Caps last night in the hockey playoffs and more. So I was immersed as a result, because I was hosting the coverage of the Zurich Classic, because we were the pregame for it, led to it. And the fact that Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry won the event, I said this to Paige McKenzie in our coverage last night. If a book was written on that tournament, on that final round, and you read it backwards, you'd go, oh, okay, Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry won. That's pretty much what we were expecting, right? But how they got to that point was not what everybody was expecting. What Chad Ramey did yesterday, what Martin Traynor did yesterday, the fact that you could see him right there finishing at 25 under par. Here's the part that's amazing about that. When they started the day, there were 7 shots back, tied for 27th, right? So to get past the cut at this event, it's the top 33 teams in ties. Coming into the final round, they're tied for 27, 7 shots adrift. And they end up all the way at the top of the leaderboard. Here's the part that it's, I think, fascinating, particularly when you figure that they go to a playoff. They finished at 3:09 p.m. Eastern time. So they go into the clubhouse, and they just have to wait it out. Rory kind of talked about that later on when he was talking to Steve Burkowski, saying, you know what, we kind of had the benefit of the fact that we just finished and went right out to the golf course for the playoff, and they had been sitting around for a long time, and then they had to go out and try to warm up on the range and all the rest and get into kind of the groove. So when it was all said and done, yes, in the playoff, we saw some golf that frankly wasn't great. I mean, when you get right down to it, Rory and Shane did exactly what they had to do in what was the alternate shot format in that first playoff hole, the foursomes. But they won it with a par on a par 5. So that alone tells you right there it wasn't spectacular. I mean, Shane put a good putt on it for birdie, but it wasn't like it was, you'd expect, say, a tap in for birdie. Rory had this kind of odd position where he had to play his third shot from. But on the other side, particularly with Martin Traynor, in fairness, there were a lot of nerves that were, you could see it. There were a lot of nerves. And it's kind of understandable. I mean, when you look at, to get to my stats here, for Martin Traynor, that had been the first time he had a runner-up finish on tour in 137 starts. Traynor won the 2019 Puerto Rico Open, by the way. Chad, winner of the 2022 Corrales Punta Cana Championship, that was his first runner-up finish in 77 starts for him. As to what it meant for Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry, let's dive into some of the information here for these guys. And Rory's is significant. It's historically significant. And I'll get into that in more details in just a second. So he earns his 25th victory on the PGA Tour. It's his first title since the 2023 Genesis Scottish Open, because that's a co-sanctioned event. And the victory comes in his 247th start at the age of 34 years, 11 months, and 24 days. If you're doing the math, yeah, he turns 35 this coming Saturday. In that win, in that 25th win, he ties Tommy Armour, Johnny Miller, and MacDonald Smith for 23rd in the all-time PGA Tour wins list. He has at least one win in each of his last 7 PGA Tour events. Of course, he's a 3-time FedEx Cup champion and moves to 15th in the FedEx Cup standings. Shane Lowry. He earns his 3rd PGA Tour victory in his 174th start at the age of 37 years, 26 days. And the victory comes 81 starts since his last win, which was the 2019 Open at Royal Portrush. He moves to number 12 in FedEx Cup standings. He wins his 5th start at the event. His previous best was 13th in 2022. His partner then was Ian Poulter. 3 top 10 finishes and 9 starts this season for Shane Lowry. And it's interesting when you hear those stats because you go, oh, and Shane's been playing pretty well. He said yesterday, his words, not mine, still paraphrasing, was that Rory carried me. I think that's an exact quote. Rory kind of fought that a little bit, but I think it's pretty much true. What I thought was interesting about Rory McIlroy, and I kind of raised this theory during our shows, was sometimes when you watch Rory play, right, there's a sense of, does he have the focus? Does he have the motivation? Particularly at the start of events. He tends to finish strong. And at this event, because it was a team event, and I kept saying, I'm not trying to overplay this because, talking about, say, Ryder Cups, there was this strong sense from Rory that he was dialed in, that he was really focused throughout, at least from the standpoint of covering Shane's back, right? I think it was Friday afternoon when he was talking with Amanda, and at one point he said the quote, he goes, I'm a really good teammate. And I thought that was telling, and I thought that was revealing at the event. So these guys, they have been friends by their account for 25 or more years. You just heard me say that one's on the verge of turning 35 and one is 37, and they've been friends for that long. So they've grew up together quite literally. They played under a common banner in Ireland called the Golfing Union of Ireland then. And even though Rory's from Northern Ireland and Shane obviously is from the Republic. So they played together. They've been together. In 2009, when Shane Lowry won the Irish Open as an amateur, who was the first one charging out on the green to congratulate him? It was Rory McIlroy. And so this has been consistent throughout the theme. So one of the first things, obviously, they're going to be asked by the media is, with each other as your partner, how does it feel to do what you just did?
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I think, to win any PGA Tour event is very cool, but to do it with one of your closest friends, and we've known each other for a long, long time, probably like over 20 years. So to think about where we met and where we've come from to be on this stage and do this together, really, really cool journey that we've been a part of, and just awesome to be able to do it alongside this help.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. We both felt like we needed to come in here and maybe have a very strong week because we wanted to get our summer going. We've got a lot of big golf coming up soon. It'd be nice to get that jump up to FedEx Cup that we both wanted. So it's nice. It's great to get a win. It was great fun all week. Everything about it was just brilliant. I've enjoyed every minute of it. Like, having this man by my side is just, you've seen the drive you hit up the 18th of the 72nd hole. Like, when you've got him doing that, it's pretty easy to play golf there for me. So, I made it look hard at times, but no, it was amazing. Like, we went out there, we had loads of fun, and we won the tournament. You couldn't ask for a better week. It's huge for me because I wasn't going to be in Quail Hollow. I was hoping to get an invite for Memorial. I was only getting an invite there, and Travelers, I didn't really know what was going to happen. So I knew I needed to make some FedEx Cup points, and this gets me in those, and it's it means I can plan my schedule now. And with family stuff and my wife and kids going back to Ireland in summer, it means I don't really have to stay over here and grind it out too long. I can do what I feel like and what I want to do. It's freed me up a lot this summer. So hopefully we can both kick on now. got 3 majors left. You know, hopefully we can get one each, maybe 2 and 1. Be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that's the plan for the rest of the summer.
So, as you could probably tell with the video we were playing in the background sound, that was a concert that was going on in the background. And I guess they had some kind of trouble with the audio feed. So that's why John Burkett, who put that together, was using different angles and doing the best he could to minimize that background sound. But we wanted to maximize the words coming from the players so that you could appreciate it. Now, you could see they were replete with the beads. And you've probably seen on social media, it's exploded because Rory was singing Journey's Don't Stop Believin'. And honestly, he was really good. It was a little bit hard to hear him isolated with the way the crowd was singing with him and having so much fun. So in this piece, they talk about the crowd and the support. I mean, they were out to dinner the night before the final round, right? And as they were leaving the restaurant, everybody stood up and gave them a standing ovation. This is Rory's first time at this event and in the area, and it was a really big weekend down in New Orleans because the Jazz Fest was going on. I think it was last night or Saturday night, the Rolling Stones performed. There was a lot going on in and around the city. So in this cut, which again was before they sang on stage, Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry spoke to the support that they received.
Yeah, it's amazing. The fans and the atmosphere all week has been incredible. You know, people have come out in their thousands to support us, and it's not lost on me that how cool that is. Every time I get to play in front of thousands of people, the little boy in me just thinks it's so cool and so exciting. So really grateful for everyone to come out and show up and let us play in an atmosphere like that. And yeah, I mean, especially in front of all those people, coming down those last few balls. Yeah, you start to feel it. You start to, it felt like a big time atmosphere and a big time tournament. And, the crowd really made the weekend. Yeah, I think, getting the support out there definitely helps. I think more than anything else, having this guy to lean on, that was what fueled me and what, I think, being able to rely on each other a little bit, I think that's really helped us, over the last 10 or 11 holes yesterday, and then over the last 12 holes tonight. Yeah, absolutely. Golf. The reason that Shane and I both started to play golf is because we thought it was fun at some stage in our life. And I think sort of re-injecting a little bit of that fun back into it, like a week like this week, it can always help. Yeah, I think so. But I also think to play the sort of golf that we did from the down the stretch when there was a little bit of pressure, I think that'll stand to us also. But yeah, I mean, I've always felt like I play my best golf when I'm enjoying myself, and hard to not enjoy yourself when you're out there walking the fairways with Shane.
All right, so you just heard what Rory said there, which I think underscores that theory where he said re-injecting a little bit of fun back into it, ... And that's really what I was referring to there. As to what they did and how they did it, consider this. When they started the round yesterday, they were 1 over after 3 holes, and it looked very much like it was going to go completely sideways in the other direction. At that point, we had Patrick Fishburne, you had Zach Blair at the top of the leaderboard. We were getting an indication of what Chad and Martin were doing. It hadn't fully congealed yet, but we were looking at it going, you know what, this was going to be an event where it was either going to be a historic breakthrough for a couple of players, one of them who only in Fishburne only had 11 starts on the PGA Tour, or it was going to be a return to the winner's circle for a couple of players that haven't been there for a while. Not so much with Chad, but definitely in terms of Martin. Ultimately, that wasn't the way that it played out. And the way that it played out is this cut from Shane and from Rory talking about what happened in the final round.
Yeah, that was huge. Obviously, wasn't ideal if Rory did in the bunker off the tee, but I'm like, fair bunkers for me are not like, they're a strong part of my game, and I'm pretty confident about them. So I knew once I had a decent lie, like I knew once I seen the ball bounce and then what didn't blow, that I knew I was going to have a swing and shot at it. And yeah, 140 to the pin. Just a wedge, hit a lovely shot in, just left of it. Probably not really where I was aiming, pulled it a little bit, but took Rory to go and hold that. But that kind of freed us up a little bit for the last couple of holes, but then I hit a poor tee shot on 17. But like, wind was kind of slightly out of left on 17 today, and I just couldn't get myself to start to go to the water, because there's all sorts of trouble over there, gators and everything. And we knew, in my head, I thought if I miss the green right, Rory's a good chipper. We'll get it up and down, and we can birdie the last to win. That's what I was thinking. We didn't obviously get it up and down, but we birdied the last to get into the playoff, and then we were fortunate to go on and win in the playoff. Rory, the fun.
Yeah, the putt was, that green or that ball's been good to us over the weekend. We made a birdie there yesterday, and then, we had another one today. I looked at it quite a bit. It broke a lot. Yeah, it probably broke a good couple of feet. I don't know what the camera angle was on TV, but, there was a lot of break in it, and it was one of those where speed was more important than line. I just had to get the speed right and sort of match it up. And, that was a huge putt. And that really, obviously, as Shane said, we went, until week 17, but, that was a huge cut and give us that little bit of a cushion that we could, get away with taking a bogey on 17, which is probably playing the toughest hole of the day. Yeah, I mean, I think that was to our advantage today. I feel for Martin and Chad a little bit. They played an unbelievable round of golf. To shoot 63 in those conditions out there in foursomes is super impressive. So, yeah, to be sitting around and not really knowing, they might be in a playoff, they might not be. And then I'm sure they obviously had time to warm up and everything, but it's different than us just coming straight back, off the golf course, and straight back into it. So I think because of that, we probably had a little bit of an advantage on the playoff walker. I don't think they need to try. I think we're coming back.
We'll be here. I'll be here anyway. I know that. I'll be here waiting for him. I think I've gone through a little bit over the last couple of months. There are a few tournaments where I've struggled on the greens a little bit. I changed my putter this week. Feels really good, but I'm just not trusting it as well as I would like. I missed a couple of short putts that kind of gets me down a little bit, but Rory's there to back me up this week, and he was a great teammate, and he made me believe in myself, and yeah, it was good to have him there to do that. So yeah,
I think as well it takes the pressure off. I hit a per tee shot on 16, for example, today, and then knowing that Shane could go ahead and get a great second shot and sort of, not make the tee shot.
We also know we're out there trying our hardest, and we know we're not trying to hit bad shots, and we don't say sorry, and we get on with it and do our best and see how it leaves a lean back.
I'm starting to think that maybe that's the way post-victory press conferences should be done, because I don't know about you guys, but didn't you feel like you were just sitting at a table with them at a pub someplace discussing what had just taken place? We're going to continue discussing what has just taken place from a historical perspective when we come back. Plus, we have more scheduled in today's show. A conversation from the head of the DP World Tour saying that players that have left for LIV can find a pathway to play for the European Ryder Cup team. We'll get into the details of what all that means. If you need to get into the details of your golf game, go to the PGA Tour Superstore. They are the #1 golf retailer from coast to coast, and it's for good reason. They have nearly 70 big, beautiful stores throughout the nation. And yeah, if you're looking for it for your golf game, surely you can find it inside of their stores. But I think inside their stores, their most important asset are their people, where you can shop with the pros, people vested in the best interest of your game. Check it out today at your happy place.
Every January, PGA Tour Superstore pros meet every manufacturer, learn about the latest equipment, log thousands of hours of training, and together hit over 100,000 balls. All so they can get you the perfect fit.
In Ireland, golf is more than just a game. Come and experience our world-famous links courses and our world-famous Parkland courses, all set alongside world-famous scenery. And visit our world-famous historic sites. And while you're here, enjoy our world-famous hospitality. Fill your heart with Ireland at ireland.com/golf.
Ben Hogan Golf Equipment is back. Established in 1953, we serve golfers who demand excellence of their equipment. Designed by the game's best engineers, forged in the world's best foundries, and built to order in the USA. Don't settle for off-the-rack disappointment. Elevate your game with custom clubs at direct-to-consumer pricing. Exclusively at benhogangolf.com. That's benhogangolf.com.
The Gen 6 iron is a culmination of everything that we have learned as a team, the absolute best golf club I've ever hit. It's something special. Say hello to the new PXG Gen 6 iron. The longest, most accurate irons we've ever made. They go higher and farther than any iron that I have hit to date, and they're so easy to hit. Super excited for the consumer to try these. They're gonna love them.
PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Baseball? Nah. Football? Done it. I think I'm gonna go after PGA Tour.
Playing on the PGA Tour is not easy. But you know what is easy? Hitting the 524 series from Tour Edge.
Getting linebackers and home runs used to be easy.
Out here, you're going to need all the easy you can get. Introducing the 524 series from Tour Edge. The easiest clubs you'll ever hit. Even the best players in the world can use a little easy.
I like the sound of that. Look out, PGA Tour. Pound for pound, nothing comes close.
Boyne Golf provides the ultimate world-class golf destination with 10 championship-caliber courses spanning 3 resorts. Centered in Michigan's northern Lower Peninsula, the courses are the products of some of the game's masters, including Robert Trent Jones Sr., Arthur Hills, and Donald Ross. From the all-inclusive vacation packages, elite instruction with the Boyne Golf Academy, tournaments, and so much more, Boyne Golf truly offers an unrivaled Michigan golf vacation experience. Just log on to BoyneGolf.com.
Yeah, well, I think in regulation we knew what we needed to do. You know, from the bogey on 17, we knew we needed to make a birdie at the last to get a playoff at worst, I guess. We didn't know what the guys were doing behind, so to play the 18th the way we did in regulation, which was great to get a 4 there. And we were a little sharper, I guess, going into the playoff. Martin and Chad had to wait around for ours to play this playoff hole, and we were coming right off the back of our round. So feel a little bad for them, but at the same time, we played a great round of golf. This alternate 12 format is really tough, and to play the last 11 or 12 holes the way we did, when we knew we needed to get to a score that was what was posted. We knew there was a target set, and the fact that we got there, I thought was super impressive.
A little bit of slow start out of the gates again. What were the challenges trying to build momentum, knowing there was work to be done in the tougher format?
We had a slow start, but we played number 7, number 8 very well all week. We knew 10 was going to be a chance. 11 obviously, so we knew we had chances coming up. We knew if we just kept doing our thing, the way Rory drove the golf ball this week, it's an absolute pleasure to play it from his second shots, and we knew we were going to give ourselves chances, and I think we played the last, I had a poor tee shot on 17, but I was just trying to hit up the right side of the green. The wind got hold of it, and we made a bad bogey there, but we knew we could birdie the last to get into the playoff, and we knew when we get in the playoff we could win it. So Rory said to me going down to the playoff, he said, when was the last time you were in a playoff? I was like, 2009. So that was nice. It was nice to get a win, and to do it alongside a great friend, it's just, it's very special.
You've won all around the world. What do you take the most pride in, first time here doing it with a great friend?
I think we kept each other positive the entire way this week, even when things weren't going our way for a little bit. We kept our heads held high, and there was a couple of struggles early on in the rounds, especially at the weekend there, and to get through those and get some momentum going. We play so much golf at home, and we're so comfortable in each other's company, and to be able to do it out here when it matters and produce similar golf is really cool.
Interview with Steve Burkowski, courtesy of Golf Channel. So when you look at Rory McIlroy with what he's accomplishing, and you heard me mention the fact that the company that he's now keeping, which goes back to 2 of those 3, are absolutely golden age legends. And then you have Johnny Miller, a multiple-time major champion that he's in the company of. He's the 26th player with 25 or more wins on the PGA Tour. He's the 23rd player with 25 or more wins and multiple majors. And here's the thing where it starts to become really rarefied air. And Andrew, I like that graphic you have up there. Let's leave that on the screen for a moment so we can all kind of let that simmer. Rory is 12th all time with 25 or more tour wins in 4 or more majors. 12th all time. That's what I was talking about in terms of the significance of where he is in the game of golf. And as you can see from that graphic that Andrew has up on your screen, and for those of you that are listening to us on the radio side, I'll go through some of it. He moves to 15th in FedEx Cup standings, as I mentioned in segment 1, which is important at this time of year because we're now well past the halfway point of the season. He's tied for 23rd on the all-time wins list, to reiterate. He is, of course, a 3-time FedEx Cup champion in 16, 19, and 22. He's won 17 times on the DP World Tour to augment what we're just talking about. Now, some of them are co-sanctioned wins, in fairness. 2-time Race to Dubai champion. That's the equivalency of the FedEx Cup champion on the PGA Tour, if you please. He's a 7-time European Ryder Cup team member, and he's currently ranked number 2 in the world. Very impressive indeed. Now, he was talking about, they both did, Chad Ramey and Martin Traynor. Chad is 31 years old, and Traynor is 33 years old. And the significance of what they did in that final round and shooting that 63 an alternate shot, it's hard to do that in alternate shot. Chad was coming into the week 233rd in the official World Golf rankings, and Martin was 387th in the official World Golf rankings. Martin Traynor, in particular, was coming into his 6th event of the year. He's playing out of a past champions category, and he had missed the cut in half of those events coming in. As I mentioned, he did have a win in 2019 at the Puerto Rico Open. Martin's an interesting guy. He's been on the show with us before, loves to cook. He's a dual citizen. His father is American. His mother is French. And I believe, if memory serves me, it was in 22 where, as a dual citizen, he officially took up his French citizenship as primary. For Chad, as I mentioned, he's a winner as well, 22 Corrales Punta Cana championship. Born in Mississippi, went to Mississippi State. The sneaky stat about Chad was that he's 6th in strokes gained putting this year. So I'm always curious when you have a chance for a really significant win and you come up just short. What are your thoughts? Do you lament and measure against what you failed to do, or do you look at it with the perspective of going, you know what, at the beginning of the week, if you had offered us this, we would have taken it. Here they are after the round.
I mean, obviously, a little disappointed, but overall, I think it's important to see the big picture, and we had a really good week, and that's all we can hope for, really.
Yeah, I mean, obviously disappointed we didn't come out with the win, but like I told somebody earlier, there's a lot of really good things to take from this week, and that's what I'm going to do. I mean, solo second finish in the end is still pretty good.
I mean, just playing it like a normal hole, doing the best we can. Obviously, golf is hard, and sometimes it doesn't go your way, and so, we did the best we could and had a chance, and that's all you can ask for, really.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly couldn't say it any better myself. Just tried to approach the hole like it was any other hole, and obviously it just didn't quite go the way we had planned.
I mean, it's been great. We did well here last year, and we improved upon that this year. So right. I think we're gonna definitely be back next year and try again.
Yeah, no doubt.
You have to admit that the week at large, all of it was kind of a feel good, and hearing those two guys respond to the media the way that they just did after coming up just short in the playoff was very, very cool. Now, Ryan Brehm and Mark Hubbard had a chance to get into that playoff, and it was so close with the putt that Brehm had from just off the putting surface at 18. But it would have been a massive, massive week for them too, in fairness, obviously, for anybody from that regard. But again, I think that measure that I just gave you in terms of how you respond in the moment following, I was very encouraged by these two players too. It was fun.
A little bit of both. Super pumped for a great week. That was a lot of fun. This event's awesome, and man, it was fun watching him play today. He played so good. Obviously, we're bummed to fall one short, but like we've both said to each other multiple times, we would have taken this at the beginning of the week. So.
Yeah, our main goal was to give ourselves a chance, and You know, that rarely happens in golf when you say, hey, we want to give ourselves a chance. And we found her, you know, Mark hit a great drive on 18, and I found myself with a 3-wood into the green, and I'm like, this is it. This is the chance we were looking for. And you know, hit a great shot, and Mark hit a great chip that just kind of held up. And then I hit a great putt, and it didn't go in. So you just got to move on and really take a lot from it, because I think this could be a confidence booster for both of us. It means a ton, but I'm sure glad he was on my team to chip this week. So
yeah, I mean, it means a ton, but it also doesn't. Like, it's not going to change our friendship at all. Whether we shot 100 every day or, you know, found ourselves in this playoff, like, our friendship wasn't going to change, and our families, you know, are still going to hang out. We're all going to party tonight. So, you know, it was an awesome week, and we're very lucky that we get to do it together. It's a great event. But as far as just us, I mean, we're going to be all right no matter what.
Yeah. It's a big confidence boost for me, because, you know, when you get paired with Rory McIlroy, there's a lot going on. And, you know, I think we can each draw a lot from that. And, you know, just know that you're going to feel pressure again, hopefully, in your career, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I played with him 2 days in the RBC Canadian Open, I guess last year when Nick Taylor won, and I played about as good as I've ever played in golf with him for 2 days, and man, it's definitely, I draw on that weekend a lot, and watching him play the way he did today under that pressure, not only playing with Rory, not only having a chance to win, but with a partner not playing that well and alternate shot, like, he just dominated. He was like he was possessed or something. So I know he's going to build a lot of confidence from this, and I am too.
Pretty cool, right? All right, so when we come back, I still want to go over with you what happened on the LPGA, what happened with LIV, and speaking of LIV, I want to get to those comments from Guy Kinnings, who's the new chief executive of the DP World Tour, saying, oh, no. Even though they went to LIV, they can still be a part of the European Ryder Cup team. And I think this goes back to the fact that Rory McIlroy said when Jon Rahm went to LIV, he was the first one that said, we've got to find a way for Jon Rahm to be on the European Ryder Cup team. Well, apparently there is a way, and Guy's telling us that it's always been there, as the Fairways of Life show continues right after this.
Every January, PGA Tour Superstore pros meet every manufacturer, learn about the latest equipment, log thousands of hours of training, and together hit over 100,000 balls. All so they can get you the perfect fit.
In Ireland, golf is more than just a game. Come and experience our world-famous links courses and our world-famous Parkland courses, all set alongside world-famous scenery. And visit our world-famous historic sites. And while you're here, enjoy our world-famous hospitality. Fill your heart with Ireland at ireland.com/golf.
Ben Hogan Golf Equipment is back. Established in 1953, we serve golfers who demand excellence of their equipment. Designed by the game's best engineers, forged in the world's best foundries, and built to order in the USA. Don't settle for off-the-rack disappointment. Elevate your game with custom clubs at direct consumer pricing. Exclusively at benhogangolf.com. That's benhogangolf.com.
The Gen 6 iron is a culmination of everything that we have learned as a team, the absolute best golf club I've ever hit. It's something special. Say hello to the new PXG Gen 6 iron. The longest, most accurate irons we've ever made. They go higher and farther than any iron that I have hit to date, and they're so easy to hit. Super excited for the consumer to try these. They're gonna love them.
PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Baseball? Nah. Football? Done it. I think I'm gonna go after PGA Tour.
Playing on the PGA Tour is not easy. But you know what is easy? Hitting the 524 series from Tour Edge.
Hitting linebackers and home runs used to be easy.
Out here, you're gonna need all the easy you can get. Introducing the 524 series from Tour Edge. The easiest clubs you'll ever hit. Even the best players in the world can use a little easy.
I like the sound of that. Look out, PGA Tour. Pound for pound, nothing comes close.
Boyne Golf provides the ultimate world-class golf destination with 10 championship-caliber courses spanning 3 resorts. Centered in Michigan's northern Lower Peninsula, the courses are the products of some of the game's masters, including Robert Trent Jones Sr., Arthur Hills, and Donald Ross. From the all-inclusive vacation packages, elite instruction with the Boyne Golf Academy, tournaments, and so much more, Boyne Golf truly offers an unrivaled Michigan golf vacation experience. Just log on to BoyneGolf.com.
Stride by Zero Friction, the first of its kind personal caddy. Walk in comfort and style with Stride's remote and follow me technology. The Stride handles almost any terrain, and its 54-hole range will last all day. The lightweight design and removable front wheels makes it simple to handle. Plus, it easily fits golf carts. Order yours and save. Visit zerofriction.com/stride or scan the QR code to order yours today. Stride, your personal caddy.
It wasn't as eventful as the last couple of days. I was nervous, and I've never been able to win. Having a lead into the last hole like that. So it was nice to be able to get it done earlier in the round. I think with my ball flight, it kind of helped that I would able to land the ball a bit better and be able to spin it a little bit more. It was kind of unpredictable on, I think, Friday afternoon, not as much as yesterday, but it definitely helps that I also can hit a fade and try and put even more spin on it. But yeah, I just really love it here, obviously, but it does feel somewhat like home in a sense that I have so many people that come and watch me. There's a lot of Aussies that come as well and cheer me on. I'm not sure where we're playing next year. I haven't actually heard, but I joked and said, I wish that they had let me know and approved. But I did look at the flyover on YouTube, and I think it's going to look fantastic. So I'm really excited for 2026, and I hope that all the members are really excited for us to come back because we certainly enjoy coming here. I think so, yeah. I feel like obviously KPMG was a bit of a whirlwind of a week. No one really expected me to win, and I certainly didn't either. But I felt like Portland was it solidified it, the end of 2019, and then obviously we had COVID. So it was kind of hard to go back to defending events. And in 2022, I had my most consistent season yet. And even though I've had 3 wins in the last 12 months, I still didn't play the weekend last week in Houston, missed a cut earlier in PV. So I feel like when my game is going good, it's going good. I still got to tweak some things when I'm not playing so well. But it definitely gives me some confidence, not only just playing here at Wilshire, but the win in Singapore, just making sure I stay patient and being able to win tournaments on the back nine. Yeah, that's really cool. I actually didn't know that stat. So, I feel like I'm in really great. It's a great honour to be, have my name up there along with them, and hopefully I keep pushing and try and get into double digits. Yeah, no, it's definitely been on my mind. Obviously, we still have maybe 6 or 7 weeks until the final team is announced, so there's still a lot that can happen between now and then. But I think now that I've had 2 wins in the season, hopefully that jumps me close to the top 10 in the world. And solidifies my spot, but you never know. Like Grace, unfortunately, she didn't have the weekend that she wanted, but I know she's capable of playing really good golf. Gabby Ruffles, Steph Kiriakou, Karis Davidson, they're all obviously striving to be the best that they can be, so I don't want to just assume that I'm in the team. I'm still fighting for that second spot, and whatever I do between now and KPMG, I'm just going to try and play my best golf and, hope to make that team. Yeah, I think that's kind of the one that I want the most. Not having the best start in Houston last week at the Chevron Championship, but I'm really excited to go to the venues. I haven't played Lancaster. I haven't played Seattle. I haven't played, what is it called?
St. Andrews?
No, I have played St. Andrews, but there's a couple of tournaments that I haven't played before, which hopefully will be a good thing. But yeah, I'm really excited, and I hope that I can play more consistent. I don't think I played very well in the majors last year, but I did in 2022. So I hope that I'm up there in contention and trying to get another trophy. I guess with golf and life, it's always making sure that you enjoy yourself. there are some tough times when you play golf. You're not always in this position that I am right now with a trophy right next to me, but making sure that you're enjoying yourself, not being too hard on yourself, having fun, that makes a big difference, especially if you're just slowly getting into golf or starting golf. If you're not sure what to practice, short game is always important. It's always the final thing that gets you into the hole. Whether you're hitting the ball good or ball bad, if you can rely on your short game, it really can save you some shots. And just go play as much golf as possible. Don't beat balls on the range all day. Golf, you're not hitting off a perfect surface every time. Sometimes, even if you hit it perfectly on the range, when you get out there, you might not really love the tee shot, whatever it may be, you might not hit it perfect. So going out and playing as much as possible, if you can, is also a nice thing to do.
Hannah, with some advice for junior golfers. Prior to that, she was talking about the prospect of making the Olympic team representing Australia and then playing in the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Speaking of the Aussies, LIV was in Australia, and it was an Australian team that ended up winning the team competition in the week that was, and also in the individual competition. It was a breakthrough victory for Brendan Steele. Okay, when we come back, I do want to get to, you can see the individual scores right there for LIV. I do want to get to the comments from Guy Kinnings because it's causing a lot of people to be curious about the prospect of, can John Rahm or Tyrrell Hatton or these various players that have played for and been a part of the European Ryder Cup team, is there a pathway back? And he says, yeah, there's a pathway back, but it's always been there. We'll have that for you right after this.
I got ball fit in 2000, went on a little run. Then Bridgestone fit me again, and I went on another run. I just got fit again for the new Tour BX. The ball fitting's been helping me. Will it help you?
Boyne Golf provides the ultimate world-class golf destination with 10 championship-caliber courses spanning 3 resorts. Centered in Michigan's northern Lower Peninsula, the courses are the products of some of the game's masters, including Robert Trent Jones Sr., Arthur Hills, and Donald Ross. From the all-inclusive vacation packages, elite instruction with the Boyne Golf Academy, tournaments, and so much more, Boyne Golf truly offers an unrivaled Michigan golf vacation experience. Just log on to BoyneGolf.com.
I think when you're training for other sports, or why most people go to the gym is so that they can have muscles and be strong and be healthy. And a lot of the reason why they struggle to play golf is their body doesn't move properly for them to be able to hit a golf ball. And when you're training for golf, it's a little bit different because you're focused more on flexibility and mobility and being strong in motion. When you're able to kind of have a warm up and have a workout routine and kind of gradually build up to where you're training your body to move properly, yeah, you're going to get a lot of big dividends on the golf course.
Every January, PGA Tour Superstore pros meet every manufacturer, learn about the latest equipment, log thousands of hours of training, and together hit over 100,000 balls. All so they can get you the perfect fit.
What if we started a company and the company was under no time constraints, no financial constraints? The one constraint is their clubs had to be exceptional performers and much better than any other alternative. I was told time and again it'll never work. It worked like a house of fire. And I'll tell you what, I think our customers love it. BXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Stride by Zero Friction, the first of its kind personal caddy. Walk in comfort and style with Stride's remote and follow me technology. The Stride handles almost any terrain, and its 54-hole range will last all day. The lightweight design and removable front wheels makes it simple to handle. Plus, it easily fits golf carts. Pick up your Stride today at a local PGA Tour Superstore near you or at zerofriction.com/Stride. Stride, your personal caddy.
So Guy Kinnings is the newly minted head of the DP World Tour, and he met with a very small group of journalists. He was talking about a number of different things. He was talking about where the game is right now. This is that thought that we have talked about a lot through this forum, where the game is absolutely booming on what I call the 99.99% part of the game, the people who actually fund the whole rest of the game. Game's booming on that side. But at its top competitive tiers, it's searching to find itself. So we talked about that kind of dichotomy. But more importantly, to start here, because I've been promising it to you throughout the course of the show, he spoke about the prospect of how players who have left the PGA Tour and left with rabbit ears in the air, the DP World Tour, to go to LIV, can be a part of the European Ryder Cup team, which is administered through the DP World Tour. Let his words explain it to you here. And I'm quoting, "If you look at what the qualification eligibility criteria was for 2023, then I think there has been a slight misconception, because the reality is, under the current rules, if a player is European and is a member of the DP World Tour and abides by the rules as they currently are, so if you don't get a release, there are sanctions. And if you accept those sanctions and take those penalties and work with that, there is no reason why players who've taken LIV membership but maintain membership with the DP World Tour could not A, qualify, or B, be available for selection." To be honest, I think some people had said, oh, you're going to have to change the rules, and then came back and said, actually, I don't think you do. It's not a loophole, because that's the rules we've always had, and those are the rules that we're going to continue to apply. Rules are for all of the membership, and it's important for people to know how those apply, and they apply to every member. So here is Guy Kinnings saying there is a pathway. The pathway has always been there, and it's not a loophole. What's interesting to me about that is many of the players, according to my sources, many of the players who were, and I guess you have to say are, DP World Tour players, have paid for the penalties or fines or sanctions. They've done what they needed to do to maintain the status. My understanding is, and I will double check this, but my understanding is all of them except for Sergio Garcia are in that category predominantly. So that there is a pathway for the likes of Jon Rahm to be able to play for the European Ryder Cup team. Right? I think it's interesting that Guy noted in particular that this isn't a loophole, that this has always existed. And if that's the case, if it's always existed, I guess my first question there would be, well, how come we didn't know about this before? But maybe agendas are changing as we move forward. Certainly from the perspective of the European Ryder Cup team, I'm sure they're delighted at the prospect of having some of those players back if they want them. As to the other subject that we were talking about, which is where the game is at right now and what needs to be done, and now you're talking about LIV Golf, you're talking about the new entity with the PGA Tour Enterprises, and the investment from the SSG, et cetera. Here's what Guy Kinnings, the CEO of the DP World Tour, had to say about that. He said, this is the irony of what we're facing right now. Golf is in such a really healthy state. In so many metrics, golf couldn't be stronger. Participation levels, interest, whatever. But until we get the solution of what is the future of the game it's going to look like, it's kind of, you have to, that faint sense of it's the elephant in the room in every conversation you could possibly have. So from my perspective, all I want to do is make sure we are, as quickly as possible, getting the right people around a table to talk about what can a future look like. I don't expect them to go in knowing all the answers. There's lots of things that have to get worked at. What does the product look like? Probably from 2026 and beyond. What's the pathway? What does it mean for things? But until you get into that room with the right people, with the right intent, and try to find a solution, you're never going to work out a deal. And at the end of the day, this is what is needed right now as quickly as we can. I was talking to the guys from this strategic sports group, and I said, listen, we've got to get together. We've got to pull it all together, and we've got to find the product that works. It probably won't be until 2026 and beyond there, and it's good for the game. Something that fans like and works for everyone. But at the end of the day, it has got to be something that is appealing to them. It's got to work for all parties, and everyone is going to have to do things that they don't necessarily want to do, a compromise. But that's what you have to do to strike a deal. It won't happen until we get everyone in a room together. All right, close quote from Guy Kinnings. It's an interesting perspective, and it raises this question of what is the divide between the game that is so popular right now and where you have, the chief executive for one of the major tours in the game saying, well, we have to decide what the future of the game is going to look like, when it's quite clear to me that the future of the game is in the hands of the people that are at the 99.99% level, and they're off and they're having a great time. Should that and is that concerning to golf leagues? Sure, it should be. So it underscores the reason why they need to get together to work out what the path will be. But I think it also illustrates the fact that the game of golf is not the leading tours competitively, right? It's a great stage for entertainment, but I think in the past there's been this obscurity, at least not deliberately, but a belief that the top of the game is what the best players in the world do. And now I think we're starting to realize that the game operates and the game exists independent of that as well. So the hope is that the leagues can come together, and the hope is that we can be entertained like we were this past weekend at the Zurich Classic. I thought it was wildly entertaining, which to me also underscores why I like full field events, not limited field events, et cetera, with no cut. I like the full field events because you have the stories where you have Brem and you have Hubbard and you have Fishburne and you have Blair, teams like that very much in the mix, right up against, a marquee stellar team like Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry, who ultimately were able to close the deal. But all of these other teams were in the mix, and I thought that was really, really fun. So I like the comments from Guy Kinnings because I think it's promising, and I think it's good to hear from one of the chief executives saying, no, this is what we need to do. This is how we need to get together. We need to figure this thing out. I like the fact that they're finding a pathway, at least on the European side, where they're saying, you know what, even if you left, we think you can benefit our team, and there's a way that we can get this done. You have to pay a price for what you're doing in their formula, but nonetheless, there's a way that they can come back, because that price that I was telling you about, like he has to serve a suspension, was one of the things that Guy was saying, speaking specifically in terms of players like, say, Terrell Hatton or John Rahm. But the suspension they can serve would be for an event that they weren't otherwise planning on being in. You follow me? It's a European Tour event, and okay, well, even if you wanted to, you can't play in it, you're suspended. Or you could look at it the other way and saying, did they want to? But nonetheless, you're suspended. So that's how that goes. We are getting some information coming in. Dom, I'm going to pull you in here quickly because we received information from the National Golf Foundation, which underscores what I was talking about in terms of how strong the game is going. And it seems like it is a guy who came from the green grass side. Each quarter that we've got into, and you think, well, it can't get any better than where we've been. This is fantastic. So far, year to date, Dom, with rounds played, are looking pretty good.
Very much so. This was released by Golf Data Tech. Andrew, you can put that up on the screen for everybody. We only got about 3 minutes left in the show here. Some of this stuff, I know we don't have a lot of time, Matt, but hopefully you can explain it to the folks. Matt spent so much time on the green grass side. You can really tell us what goes into rounds going up and down, because it's not super simple. I mean, there's weather issues, etc. However, in March, if you're looking on that screen, you can see, I know there's a lot of numbers there, but if you look at the top in the middle, 21.2%. That is how high the rounds are up in March of this year, officially. And year to date, Matt, to this point, just under 7%. Rounds are up this year, 7%. So I know there's only we had about 2 minutes left, Matt. But if you could, as best you can in 2 minutes, explain what are the variables that go in on the green grass side, because it's not as simple as, oh, they're just up because everything's great. I mean, the weather could be nice. There's lots of different things that go into this, right?
Yeah, I always default back to Stone Temple Pilots because so much depends on the weather. And that's what it is, especially when you're looking at the first quarter. Now, you're going to have golf that can be played in the southern half of the United States-ish, although there's places in Texas and that can very easily get warm. Florida and a little bit of Georgia, but they can get cold too. So in the first quarter, when you're looking at numbers, the first thing that I like to look at is there strong demand before you get into are there strong numbers, because those numbers are very much dependent upon weather patterns. And we had weather patterns this year that kept it relatively dry but cool in the South, so people were able to get out and play. And then you had these few pockets of nice weather through the rest of the country that people were able to charge out and play golf. I was telling you up here where I am, just outside of New York City right now, it's going to be very warm today and very nice weather in the next few days. So I expect that the tee sheets are going to absolutely be packed. But what this really comes from is through the pandemic and post, the game of golf is at a different place than it's ever been before. That's that 99.99% level. And it's absolutely fascinating and exciting and fun to see everything that is going on. That's the same emotions that I had about having your company today, folks. And we look forward to it over the next couple of days. The PGA Professional National Championship is on Golf Channel today. If you get a chance, watch that. There are positions at the PGA Championship in the offing and more. Until then, bye for now.